It is 4 p.m. Friday, the 10th of October across eastern India, and this is a look at Tropical Cyclone Hudhud located across the central Bay of Bengal. The latest estimated intensity from the United States Joint Typhoon Warning Center is listed at 65 knots, and they are still expecting this system to intensify with a peak intensity of 105 knots shortly before landfall. It looks as though that intensity forecast may be a little aggressive, but conditions still appear favorable for steady intensification all the way until the time that the center crosses the coast, which is expected to be midday or early afternoon on Sunday. By this time, Hudhud was supposed to be a little stronger based on the initial forecast when this cyclone was initially classified. Luckily, easterly wind shear has kept the intensity to a minimum thus far. However, the last couple of visible daytime satellite animations do indicate that Hudhud is becoming steadily more organized. You can see here, especially within the last one or two images, the center of circulation finally appears to be well within the center of the convective canopy that is developing during the mid to late afternoon hours. So this is a sign that the easterly wind shear may be lessening just a bit, and the overall organization will allow for some steady strengthening later on into tonight and tomorrow. As you can see on the enhanced infrared, convection really hasn't been so much of a problem. There's been plenty of instability and low-level moisture for Hudhud to continue to intensify. It's just been the overall structure or lack thereof that has kept Hudhud from strengthening further. You can still see even at this hour that the storm is a bit lopsided, with much of the convection being blown off to the western side of the storm, whereas the outflow in the southeastern quadrants and the northeast quadrant really is not all there just yet. The latest wind shear analysis from the University of Wisconsin confirms that easterly shear is still the biggest detriment to Cyclone Hudhud. You can see that there is a favorable upper-level anticyclone located over the Bay of Bengal, but it's not directly centered over the storm. As a result, the storm is witnessing a lot of the east to northeast wind shear, and with this current upper-level pattern in place, I am still somewhat skeptical that this storm will climb above 100 knots before landfall. You still certainly want to prepare for 100 to 105 knot winds right along the coastline in the event that the intensity forecast does in fact verify. But if I just had to go ahead and go out on a limb, I would say that the maximum intensity at landfall probably will not exceed 80 to 90 knots. Even so, that is still a moderate cyclone, and if you're along the coast, storm surge could still be an issue, not to mention the risk of heavy rainfall as all of the convection that we saw on the enhanced infrared steadily moves farther inland. Fortunately, the models are clustered fairly close together, and there is fairly good agreement with the latest Joint Typhoon Warning Center forecast track. It looks as though the center of the cyclone will either pass directly over or just to the south of Visakhapatnam, and it looks as though the northeast quadrant could move directly into the city, so the strongest winds associated with the cyclone will be felt in those areas, or potentially just to the south. This is a look at the GFS surface winds forecast representation for midday Sunday, and if anything, the European ECMWF model is simply just a few hours slower, and it's a little bit farther to the north, directly into Visakhapatnam, with the landfall occurring Sunday afternoon. If you happen to live in this area, of course, you want to pay most attention to the latest updates and bulletins being issued by the India Meteorological Department. There are several bulletins currently in effect, including a severe cyclone warning, and they are also talking about the risk of storm surge, heavy rainfall, flooding, and high winds right along the coastline. And you can see this outlined here quite well on their website. So you will want to check out the India Meteorological Department for the latest official information. Additionally, you may continue to use 28storms.com as a good supplemental source to the official products being issued, and you can also follow us at facebook.com/28storms and twitter.com/28storms, where you will find more updates on Hudhud along with Typhoon Vongfong making landfall across Okinawa.